Hello, and happy Valentine's to you all. We are about 4 hours into Valentine's, so it is safe to say happy Valentine's. And because you're not sending me flowers, I do not mind them, but you have not asked for directions, so I assume they are not coming. I want to wish you a happy Valentine's, and I hope that you can have an experience, a different kind of love than whatever. I've seen on Instagram there's Galentine's now, where you celebrate with your girls. I don't know whether Richard will tell us about the men, whether they also have that, but yeah. So I mean, I am wishing you the very best, to say the least. So, good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Thank you very much for tuning in to Get It Right with Atara Solutions. This is the webinar series that seeks to demystify issues in employment and entrepreneurship. We do this every Tuesday from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m., and we have done this since June 2020. And we continue to bring very top important topics. I don't know where I kept my glasses. Yeah, so we continue to bring you very live and fresh and trending topics. And because we are trendsetters, and our business is to change the world through information, and that is what we seek to do every week from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. If you have missed any of our webinars, please log into our YouTube channel. It's Get It Right with Atara Solutions, and you can find all the recordings of everything that we have covered. There's a lot of content there, a lot. So don't say that you're no longer bright because you're not informed. There's a lot of information there. So my name is Grace Nzula. I'm an HR consultant and trainer with Atara Solutions. If you're looking for people to support you in your HR function, then Atara Solutions are your service providers. If you're looking for trainers for your in-house training or out of office trainings, then we also do offer that service. And also, if you're looking for team building partners, then we are your people. So we like to say we are a one-stop shop for all trainings. Even if you're not the ones doing it, we can tell you who can do it. So do not get stuck wondering what to do with your people. We are solutions, and that is what we do. So with me is my co-host, Catherine Sidandi. Catherine Sidandi, good evening. It's really awesome to see you. Thank you very much for making us inclusive. We are very honored to have you. Thank you for the work that you do. We really appreciate you, and we hope that you can continue making lives better for people. Thank you so much, and we hope that you guys are spreading the word that even those who have hearing impairment, they can always log in and they'll be taken care of for that. So with us is we Get It Right with the Tara Solutions. Like I said, is a webinar series. We do this in partnership with a number of organizations. Allow me to give them a shout out this evening, and also let you know what's coming up in Atara Solutions very soon. So our partners include Pathway Solution Services. I have seen Frank telling me that I need to check because he has offers for you guys tonight. And so make sure that the Valentine offers you take advantage of. And also make sure you don't get stuck because Frank offers trainings on his LMS there. You can check Pathway Solution Services website and get to see the courses that they offer. They have an LMS. LMS is a learning management system. You just get to log in, and then you can train yourself. At the end of the day, you get a certificate that you can show for the good work that you have done. So do not hesitate to, if you're not able to attend trainings, don't think that you're limited. You can always log into Pathway Solution Services, and you will find 1,001 courses, and you can train yourself and get more information as you go along. And then we have Panessa Training Institute. If you are a carpenter or looking to become a carpenter, or you know somebody who wishes to become a woodworking expert, then they need to register with Panessa Training Institute. Panessa is one of the oldest companies. They're 73 years old in woodwork, and it's an amazing place to be. So do not fail to do your DIYs because you don't know how to. We also have WeClean. WeClean is a carpet cleaning company. They also do sofa cleaning, and they also do post-construction cleaning of your houses. They also come and do general cleaning for your homes, and as well as declutter your homes. So do not stay in with a dirty carpet or a dirty sofa. I mean, you are raising children, families, or even your boys' rooms. Those, that one that you don't go under the seats and under the beds. Yes, that is what WeClean is able to do for you. And then we have Kapula Mintito. Kapula Mintito, they sell coastal goods. If you're looking for mapochopocho ya pwani, if you're looking for korosho, korosho is cashew nuts. If you're looking for honey, if you're looking for Simos gel, if you're also looking for mabuyu, then Kapula Mintito are your people. Check them out on Instagram and Facebook. We have Steadfast Quality Solutions. Steadfast Quality Solutions is a HR and PR company located in Kampala, Uganda. We appreciate you, Herbert Zake. Thank you for partnering with us. Thank you for spreading the word about Get It Right with Atara Solutions. And thank you for making sure that part of our initiatives is also going across Uganda. We really, really appreciate you, Herbert Zake, and thank you very much for your support. Profiles International are your people. If you're looking for people to help you mold your culture, if you're looking for people to help your teams foster trust, if you're also looking to understand your teams better, Profiles International are your people. They also offer Genos Intelligence Coach. They actually have a certification for emotional intelligence. So don't wonder how you can become a better at emotional intelligence and also help others become very good at it. So Profiles International are running the emotional intelligence class, and you get to become a certified coach in emotional intelligence. We have Elsamere. Elsamere is a hotel located in Naivasha. We are going here for our next road trip in end of May. So start getting your jeans and boots on. Naivasha, it is at Elsamere. They have beautiful, such a serene environment. We have Ndovu. If you attended the webinar last week, Ndovu was part of we hosted Ndovu last week. They are doing investments, so don't get stuck with investing the usual way. Ndovu will take you to the next level. We have Star Discovery. Star Discovery is an insurance company, and if you have not renewed your car insurance or your medical insurance, then Star Discovery Discover are your people. We have Nile Front. Nile Front has the best view I have seen in a long time. Nile Front cottages are located in Jinja, Uganda. You can drive, by the way, you can drive to Jinja. It's 2 hours from the border. And they have such an amazing view, my God. Yani the sunset from these cottages. By the way, and I'm not exaggerating. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about, let me know. I'll send you photos. I was there in December, and it's just amazing. Please, if you're in Uganda or you're looking to visit Uganda, make sure you visit Nile Front cottages. They are amazing. And then we have CPF Consulting. CPF Consulting are financial service. They offer financial solutions, and they also offer training and consultancy in matters management and financial management. So if you're looking for people to partner with on your finances or on your training on leadership, among others, then CPF Consulting are your people. Of course, we have Essence Park. They do waste management and also train on OSH compliance, among others. So that's it on our partners. All right, we have this training coming up on Thursday this week from 2 p.m. It is on termination on medical grounds, the legal intrigues and challenges. Don't wonder how to manage your CCOVs. Don't wonder how to manage medical issues. Or is there a term like retirement on medical grounds? Come and find out. It's only 2,800 on Tuesday. If you wish for us to do an invoice with ETR, we can be able to do that. And also our HRM members, you get to earn 1 CPD point. And then one thing I'm looking forward to, International Women's Day. We have a breakfast meeting for all men and women. Our theme is Empower Her, the labor of love and leadership. And part of our discussions will be a woman's worth in a man's world, and also where is my bra? This one is one of those things that you just decide, and that Saturday you're not sleeping in. Please join us on the 9th of March. We are going to share details within the week. But please, 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 please join us for this conversation. It's going to be amazing. And you just come meet new people, engage with new people, and just get to interact with amazing people who want to understand. I mean, are men prepared for the empowered woman? Yeah, that is one of the questions we are going to be answering. How do we get the man to deal with the empowered woman? And the women, how do you accommodate the men in your life with as much as you're getting empowered? So, and the struggles of women in leadership. I mean, do you know that we have 65% of women are HR professionals in Kenya, and only 20% are actually in leadership? So that is a wake-up call to all of us that we need to now continue getting into leadership positions and also just being part of the change we want to see. All right, so thank you very much for your indulgence. Allow us to now kick off and go on to the conversation of the day. With us tonight is none other than Nancy. Nancy is a psychiatrist, a psychologist. Sorry. She's a psychologist. She's the CEO of Hisia Psychologist Consultants, and she is an amazing person. She's not new on Get It Right with Atara Solutions. I think this is like the 10th time she's on your screen. But yes, Nancy is about to tell us, do we win in compatibility, or mapenzi imetosha, or is love just enough for the sake of the non-Swahili speakers? Nancy, please tell us exactly how are we winning in compatibility, because this is going, hey, you should have seen the questions I was getting.
Right into it, Grace. Thank you so much for this opportunity. And thank you, Atara Solutions team, and everyone who is tuned in today. So yes, the topic today says that we get it right in compatibility, not love. And I'm sure a lot of you are asking, what does she mean? Especially this month, February, yeah? And when tomorrow is Valentine's, eh? Hiya. Yeah, there are people who are gonna be happy and are going to be disappointed, but the most important thing is knowing who you are and where you stand. The reason why I thought not love is because we are shaped by our environment or the people who raise us up. And while we are growing up, as a psychologist, this is very important. While we are growing up, the way we are given attention, that is what we think love is, until you grow up, gain identity, and start thinking, maybe it's not enough for me. However, in relationships, we continue to replicate those dysfunctionality because we are trying to chase that feeling, the euphoria, the ideal or the ideal thought that you have of how I should relate or I should have a partner around me. But the skill here is going beyond love and learning how you can be compatible or what to look out for so that you're in that state of safety. So that is what I mean by compatibility and not love. And we have to go through the history to understand, where did love begin? Huh? It's important to try and understand that. And if we look at ancient history, art depiction, writing, we have so many artists trying to explain what love is, until one father of psychology called Sigmund Freud came and said, what these artists try to explain, we need to understand it in a scientific format. And that is where I come in today. My screen is frozen. Ilifanya ile kitu nilikuambia Grace, so let me try and get it back to working. So bear with me. Okay. Is it back? I think it is back. It's not back?
No, we can't see the screen. We can only see your beautiful face.
Oh, thank you, Grace. And for the compliment, let me put it again. Share that. Can you see it now? I believe you can.
Yes, we can now.
Awesome, awesome. So when I ask what love is, a lot of people will say the feelings that are associated with love, because it's quite complex. So it is a set of emotions and behaviors that an individual will have that characterize an intimacy or passion and commitment in a relationship. So there has to be a sort of connection or relationship. Then this set of emotion, not one emotion, a set of it. Then look at your behavior and how you're feeling drawn into that person. Are you passionate? Are you invested in that relationship? So that is what love is. Okay. Again, Frozen. Ni kama itaki tuongee mambo ya mapenzi.
Hey.
So I'll stop share again and then go back to the screen and see if it moves to the next one. Let's see if that one moves. Is that visible?
Yes.
Cool. We'll use it as it is because it's easier for me now. So after understanding the history of love and what we look at as love and how you interpret love from your own worldview, it is important for us to look at, to also understand the types of love that exist, because love is not one uniform thing. Otherwise, you don't, and that's why you don't feel the same thing for your parents, for your siblings, for your kids, for your colleagues, for your partner. We feel different things. They're not all uniform. Why? Because it comes as a form of love. So love is, when you see this, you can understand passion plus intimacy gives you what we call romantic love. And a lot of us crave that and think that that is the authentic love, where there's a lot of romance, there's a lot of intimacy. Then there is love that we see from a lot of people who have a charitable heart. They're compassionate because they give a sort of connection, they share feelings, they step into somebody's world, and they give a commitment. That is what we call compassionate love. Then we have what we call fatuous, where there is passion and then there is commitment. But you see, there's no intimacy. So it's just a lot of, built up energy and then commitment or arrangement of this is how it's going to be. But then there is no intimacy. There's no getting to know each other. There's no investment. Okay. But then when people get married and they get children, what they're looking for is what we call consummate love. And this consummate love, there's intimacy, there's love, there's passion and there's commitment. And that's why it brings forth the fruits it brings. Even if you're not blessed with kids, you then have things that you birth together and you're able to grow. Love makes one vulnerable. It gives you a sense of, a lot of people say character development comes in when you go through a heartbreak. But even in and during the relationship, you learn to forgive, you learn to grow in patience because you're thinking about that person and their ability. You learn how to apologize. So your communication should improve. You communicate that you care, that expression of warmth, and then being able to spend time with each other, and that being quality time, and then sharing or being, I talked of vulnerability, but then also sharing how your everyday experience has been and having someone who is interested in you. Love is necessary. As a scientist, as a psychologist, I'll say it is necessary for your health. It's very important. So go find love. You'll have lower blood pressure, you have lower risk of diabetes, and so many other things. But then again, when you're in love or when you have love around you, you are able to manage stress better. Okay? Then you have less chances of getting depressed. And then you have better health habits. Okay? So, yeah, you see, we cannot say, I'll do away with love, I'll live life without love. No, you need one form or another of love, but find a balanced way of dealing with that. So, when we move from love, we move into what we call dating. You will like somebody, you think how you spend their time with them, and then you go into this phase we call dating. And a lot of us take it, ni dinner, I'm going for dinner or lunch, free meal, sindio? Yes, you get caught up in that euphoria of, yeah, it's free, or I'm spending time away from work. Work is stressful. I need a distraction. So I'll go on a date with this person. But you're running away from a toxic home environment. So you go for this date. Dating, the purpose of dating, the science of it is being able to evaluate the suitability of that person you're meeting. So if there's no evaluation involved on your end, they're the ones evaluating you, then you went for a meeting. It wasn't a date, you know? So let's not misplace terms. It's a date when you have a purpose or you have intended to evaluate that person and see how suitable are they for you as a partner or for whatever purpose you intend to have them in your life. All right. So after you felt love, you have gone on a date, you've developed a form of relationship. So what is relationship anyway? Because you have a relationship with your employer, with the team you manage, with any other thing you want to talk about, even your pets. You have a relationship with your pets. You have a relationship with your car, you know, or the thing that you love most, you have a relationship. But here I want to focus about human connection. So it is the way in which two people connect, or the state of being connectedness. Connectedness means that there is a flow. Okay. So this flow is not forced. It feels natural. Okay. Can this connectedness exist without love? If love pulls away, can the connectedness continue to exist? That's a question I'm posing to you. If then you become incompatible, I will explore what compatibility is. If you become incompatible, can the relationship continue to exist? Okay. So what we should have learned first as infants is to have a relationship and then now develop that into a state of it serves me and it is what I'm experiencing is also serving the other person. So what then I will call it is love. And this love makes me feel or feeds me or makes me grow in this aspect. And so I want this person around me almost every other time because they fulfill me and I feel like we are compatible. We gel. Okay. Now, after understanding that, so you're now in love or in a relationship, there are stages that compatibility will take. All right. And I want to skip that a bit and first explain what compatibility is. There you have it. When I talk of compatibility, I want us to imagine things that can fit in together. Okay. If they cannot fit in together, they are somewhat incompatible. They can function with and around each other, but they are incompatible. On the screen right there, you have a bigger circle on the outside and a hexagon. So the hexagon can fit into the circle, meaning it can meet the circle's needs, all right? And all its points, it can meet some of the circle's needs, and all its points, all the hexagon points or needs are met by the circle. So the circle is greater, okay? But then the yellow part represents the unfulfilled needs, wants of the circle. So the circle is available for the hexagon, but the hexagon has no ability of ever meeting the circle's needs. You have the gears right there. One is big, the other one is smaller. Those ones are compatible because when they connect, there is movement, there is flow of energy. So they don't have to be the same size, have the same ability, but they are of the same type, so they can flow. Then you have the smaller circle in pink, the hexagon, and the bigger circle. So the smaller pink one can meet the hexagon's needs, but the bigger circle doesn't have all its needs met. So when we're thinking about compatibility, are you the gears? Are you the hexagon? Are you the circle? Are you the colored one, right? Because the smaller pink circle has less than the bigger yellow one, okay? So back to the stages that we go through when we think of compatibility. There is the first stage there, and this is by Knapp, a gentleman called Knapp. So Knapp looks at a growth of a relationship. And in this case, we are looking at you working on a life partner, working on something that sustains you over a long period. So the first one is where you come in and you bond. So you agree that, yes, we have some interests that are similar. And I like your time. I like spending time with you. I like your company, and we're going to invest, we're going to be exchange communication because I want to learn more. So there in that space, among a crowd of people, you're able to pick that one person because you feel connected to them. Then the second one is where you're integrating. Integration means now we are trying to experiment a few things here and there, okay? And we are getting into each other's world. You get to explore my hobbies. I get to explore your hobbies. I get to rediscover myself or learn new things. You get to learn things about yourself. Remember, I talked of patience, character development, slowing your thought process because you're with this person who makes you laugh. Yes, at this stage, that is where that is growing. And then there is the aspect of intensifying your introducing even your external circles, your friends somehow to this person. Then the fourth stage is experimenting where you're visiting each other, maybe at work, maybe at home. Maybe now you're going on a drive. For those people who are sensitive about their cars, well, you can allow this person get into your car with shoes on, because before they needed to remove shoes. Just using it as an example. And then now maybe planning. The last stage is where we are planning for our life together. We are comfortable with each other. I understand the do's and don'ts around you, and you understand the do's and don'ts around me. You know what my challenges are or what my weaknesses are. You're helping me grow, or you're not judging me as I try to self-develop. And I'm also being patient with you in the areas that you need to adjust. Okay. And it feels natural. So those are the first 5 stages. And when people get to the initiating, they feel like, I'm happy, I'm comfortable. Let me tell you about this chick or this guy. Guys are comfortable to share. Guys are comfortable to be with each other. And at this point, they feel very comfortable. But life is interesting because they say the only thing that is constant is change. You might want to keep that face of a relationship or the feeling or the experience or the behavior you have around this person or they have around you. You might want to keep it that way. But if you are able to hold everything, at a frozen moment, then you wouldn't be growing as a person, and your partner will not develop as well, will not grow. So because we all have a an innate drive to grow, then there are changes that are going to happen. So initially, when you were dating, communication was sort of structured, or we related in a way that, there was caution. But when we've gotten to this stage, there's no longer caution involved. We are all very easy to flow with each other. So certain things change based on the stressors we are experiencing in life or the demands we are experiencing in life. So you find communication. Maybe the way I used to communicate before, I'm not as consistent as that. Or maybe the way I used to check on you, I'm not as consistent as that. Or, maybe the way I used to talk about you, I'm not as consistent about that. So you find that you're feeling there's something amiss here. and I am not understanding, or there's some information that I'm experiencing gaps in, and you start filling the boxes. As a child, how you thought when you did not feel love is how you interpret this in your adult relationship. So communication changes. Somebody comes to you and you already have a preconceived response. Okay, you have already analyzed why they are saying or they are asking what, so you will respond in defense. Communication changes. Aspiration. Okay, everyone wants to grow. Everyone wants to build a house together when you're in love, buy cars together, take your kids to the best schools, invest, have a nest egg together, those aspirations. But because we work in different environments and we are conditioned to face challenges differently, my aspiration might not be my partner's aspiration. And I might feel like my partner is slowing me down, or they're interfering with my personal development and those aspirations, because I've conquered in love, all right? I've conquered in having a relationship with this person. So aspiration are some of the changes that come up in a relationship. Career change or health issues, health challenges, that will interfere with how you're connected with this person, your financial state, all right? And then any losses that you might experience, loss of asset, loss of a parent, loss of a child, loss of a body organ, name it, any type of loss that you might experience, it will affect you differently. We all don't respond universally to a loss. So when these changes are happening, then people start saying, I'm feeling like I'm in a toxic relationship, or I'm experiencing some sort of toxicity. Why? Because you're starting to be incompatible. If I go back to this illustration here, if the hexagon desired so much to be like the circle, it would lose its edges. And if it loses its edges, it would have lost its identity. Okay? So it would no longer be a hexagon. It would not be like a circle, but it's not authentic or originally a circle. Okay? And if the circle thought, let me form myself to be a hexagon, it would have to shave itself, shave some aspects about it so that it can fit into being a hexagon. Okay? So it is important to understand that we come differently in these relationships. And you don't need to change yourself. You need to understand, or you need to work on not changing yourself, but being comfortable with those differences that you come with in this relationship, because they make you unique. And somehow, maybe the circle is happy to have the hexagon, or the hexagon is happy to have the circle. Okay? But if you want to be this other thing, then you will start being incompatible. And in compatibility now, the steps here are that you start differentiating. You no longer want to invest as much time as you used to with this person. You have other things of priority. And then you give excuses. There's always another emergency or something else that you can do, and maybe place more responsibility on your partner. So you're placing this responsibility so that you don't have to be around them or within the same space, because you're unable to deal with these stressors, okay? Or you're unable to be vulnerable, or you feel like you cannot be understood, or you're not able to forgive, okay? Or you no longer have an ability to be patient. And then now you hit a block where we call the stagnation, where all your resources are exhausted. They're exhausted because you're trying to be that other shape, that other person, not yourself. Because you think if you became them, then love would exist, or you would have a smoother relationship, okay? And you lose on being able to invest in each other. And then there comes avoidance. Avoidance is where you see people going days, weeks without speaking, getting a job in a different country, don't want to be with this person. They're a trigger. Okay. And the trigger was because remember those communication things? We never were able to understand the changes or prepare ourselves for those changes. So we avoid. Eventually, termination. So what once we thought was love, now we are terminating. So this is separation, this is divorce, okay? And when we come to that point, I don't know if out of your experience of friends or family's experience, you've ever sat to think what led to that. And now that I'm leaving this situation, am I living as my authentic self or who I am? Am I living having shared my vulnerabilities? Or did I have to wear a mask? And now I can breathe better because I'm no longer in that relationship. Okay. So that's why compatibility, not love. Compatibility is knowing I am a circle, I am a hexagon, and I'm going to be in this relationship. I'm going to give it a try while being myself and while telling them, look, I'm a hexagon. This is my ability. Are you comfortable with it? I can only stretch as much as this. Maybe you need to bend to meet these needs that you're asking, but I don't mind being around you. I don't mind your company. Okay. So, what has all this got to do with mental health? Because it comes to that. As a business person, as an employee, as an employer, functionality is influenced by your mental health. So even compatibility is influenced by your mental health. Okay. And when I talk about mental health, I want you to think about your cognitions, your thoughts. Okay. What are your thoughts when you think about this person or when you're around this person? What are your thoughts? Are they safe thoughts? Are they destructive thoughts? Do you want to run around? Are the voices in your head too much? Or is there nothing continuing? Nothing going on there? Nothing there? Your thoughts. Then your feelings. Your feelings are internal and they are also physiological. Okay? So, how are you feeling when you're around this person? Does your heart race? Okay? Do you feel contained, composed, or do you feel like you need to throw up or like you need to avoid the situation? What are your feelings? Does it make you fearful? Does it make you comfortable? Okay. So if you're comfortable, there's compatibility. If you're uncomfortable, there's incompatibility. There are aspects about yourself you're sharing. Then your behavior. When you're around this person, how do you meet this person? How do you behave? Are you aggressive or are you peaceful? Are you encouraging or do you just chip at the person? And this is where I hear people say, oh, that person was a narcissist. And I'm like, and while they were a narcissist around you, what were you thinking? What were your thoughts? What were your feelings? What emotions were you going through? What behaviors? Were you overcompensating? All right. Did you feel like there's a flow? Remember the gears? Or did you feel like I needed to shade or change myself? Okay. Having understood that, let's move to types of compatibility and the signs. Okay. So compatibility is not universal, and that's why I said you can be any shape you want to be. The shape that needs you and the shape that you need will come to you. So there is recreational compatibility, and these are when you are like when you think about your hobbies, who do you easily get along with? Is that partner of yours a recreational compatible partner to have, or do you then have these activities with other people and come to be with this other person? Then there's intellectual compatibility, like when you're thinking things you love, experiences you share, books you read, shows you love to watch, are similar in a sense. Then there is spiritual compatibility. And when I talk of spiritual, it's your belief about that higher power. I'm not talking about religion. Okay. I'm not talking about going to church, going to the mosque, or any of that. I'm talking about when you're grounded When you think about maybe a plant, a tree, do you value it the same way your partner values it? Huh? In a higher sense. Then there is emotional compatibility. There are those of us who are feelers or empaths, okay? And we have a radar, like what we call a sixth sense. We'll be able to tell before you even speak it out. So the emotions you experience and you interpret, are they similar with this partner you have? Because if they're not, then you're not compatible emotionally. Sexual compatibility. Yeah, Valentine's. I don't know if I try booking apps and see kama kuna availability accommodation because Valentine's has loaded. Now, back to this. Sexual compatibility. Does your partner leave you feeling satisfied sexually? Do you leave them feeling satisfied sexually? Are you comfortable with all those activities that go in there? If you want to know more, DM. I'm not going to elaborate more here. So if in any of these types, you feel there is a sense of incompatibility, then it requires work. Maybe someone might ask, must I be compatible in all those aspects? No, because your needs and your wants are different at that particular time. There's what you have prioritized. Okay. So you don't necessarily have to be compatible in all those areas, but at least 3 of them. Eh? Tukue sexually, emotionally, recreationally. Ama tukue intellectual, spiritually, and emotional. Because it's serving a need for you. Okay. Because remember, your interpretation of love is what you got or what you did not get. Okay. So how do you know you're compatible? Is communication productive with each other? Do you share common interests? Interest spiritually, interest intellectually, interest recreationally? Do you feel balanced? Or do you have to overexert yourself? Or do you feel spent? Okay. And then do you share similar goals? Okay. So if you agree, recreationally, we are going to spend a weekend together. It's a similar goal. Yeah, I want that. I'm able to, right? Or can we do one day because I'm not able to? Yeah. So those are signs of compatibility. Questions to ask yourself. When that person is away, do you miss them? Okay. When they're around you, do you feel safe? Are you able to trust them? Then, in terms of lifestyle, do you feel that you're compatible? All right. I'll elaborate here. Lifestyle, the things that an individual likes, the friends an individual keeps, the kind of engagement an individual has, are they compatible? You know, we've evolved as a human race. There are people who say if we continued to keep our tradition, this was a conversation I was having with someone, probably there wouldn't be any divorce happening. But the divorce was not happening because the lifestyle was similar. It was controlled. But right now there's diversity. So you have to ask yourself, am I compatible with this person? Do we share similar lifestyle? If somebody decides to be a religious and you are not a religious, is that going to work? Okay. If someone wants to hanye so much and you are trying to raise a family, is that going to work? Okay. So lifestyle. And then now think about your level of fear. Are you transparent with them? Can you say where you made a mistake? If you made a mistake, right? Or if you did not intend harm somewhere and it happened, are you comfortable to share that? Or do you feel the need to cover it? Like overspending, yeah? Those of us who really like nice and fine things, we go to the shop and hey, Ruto decided there is taxation. Something was 5K, now it's 9, but I want it. So you overspend. Are you able to come and say, hey, you came with this dress? I had not intended to spend this amount of money, but I found myself spending it. I'm sorry, but we will have to adjust our budget. Are you able to be in that state? Or do you close yourself in I'm seeing someone really laughing. I don't know. Then, laughter. Laughter is the best medicine, they say. Okay? If you cannot find yourself laughing with this person, around them, about things together, hey, it's not even red flag. When the blood is not oxygenated, what color is it? It is that color. Okay? So we need to be able to grow laughter with each other. We need to be able to have less fear so that we show up confidently. We need to have similar lifestyle. So what adjustments can you make? You need to feel safe and have a sense of trust. And then, of course, miss this person. So when they come, there's a sense of, yeah, reconnection. So if we have gotten to a point of incompatibility in a relationship because we did not understand or we did not know certain things, is it fixable? As a therapist, I'll say yes, it is fixable. So it's not all going down the drain. It is possible to fix incompatibility. Okay. How do you fix incompatibility? Both of you, because one person's effort is not going to be enough. Both of you need to create a safe space. So you need to communicate. My feelings around your questioning, or my feelings around the people you're bringing around, or my feelings about this experience make me go through this type of thoughts. I have this type of concern, and what I'm desiring is an ability for you and I to communicate respectively. So I'd love to create that space for you, and I'm asking for you to create the same. And then being able to meet a compromise or a middle ground. What are the things that you can be able to compromise, not shelve? I'm saying not address now, they still remain part of your priority list, but for the sake of working or this relationship flowing, or me seeing you as the hexagon or as the circle, I'm going to compromise on these needs, but I would love to task you to remind me to meet them or for you to meet them. Then being able to value each other's opinion, intellectual capacity, your mind, your thoughts need to be respected. So is it valued? Okay. Do you understand your boundaries? Do you understand that you're different individuals? Does that person know that? Or are you trying to be them? And then understand and validate each other's feelings. So when you say, I feel I'm not happy, is that person able to say, oh, I'm so sorry about that? What do you think has caused that? Or I'm so sorry about that. Can we talk about this at a later time? Are you able also to validate them? Are you genuine? Are you able to pay attention? Okay. There are people who live together, but they cannot tell you what dress my wife left wearing in the morning. The house together, yeah? Or how many perfumes does she have on her dresser? Okay. And you go to that bathroom together, or you in that bedroom together. Or you cannot tell, hey, the car's tires were changed or the rims. My husband changed the tires and the rims. But you're not paying attention. That tells you you've lost interest in a sense. Being able to grow in self-awareness. Remember, I talked of stuckness. So we don't want to remain in the same point or in the same position. A lot of us want to be angels and saints. Okay? A relationship requires that you show up and you make mistakes and stop wanting to be that golden child. Okay? So, are you able to grow in self-awareness? And are you going for those self-development avenues that are available? Are you able to resolve conflicts or come up with strategies to resolve conflicts? Attending couple therapy, yes, come for therapy. When things are working and when they're not working. When you feel there's discomfort and when you feel, yeah, we are okay, come for therapy. Because if you don't use this, you might never learn, you might never gain the insights. Traveling together, being away from the things that demand of you, being away from work. Leave is necessary in employment. Remember, when you are dating, you are looking at the suitability. It's like an interview process. Then you hire this person. So can they do a job for 5 years consecutively, productively, without leave? They need leave. So even you as a couple need to get away from the things that are demanding so that you can see each other and feel each other and be with each other's presence. And then being able to recognize and embrace your personal growth and how you're evolving. No one else can cheer you better than you. So if you do not acknowledge the steps you're making in career, the steps you're making in financial standing, the steps you're making towards health, the steps you're making towards the relationship, no one else can be able to call it out. So call it out for yourself and then bring it on the table. If you mention it, someone else can be able to tell, oh yeah. In fact, I had seen it, but I had thought it's normal. It strikes that interests. So that marks the end of our conversation. And I would love to just mention my name being Nancy Wanjiru. I'm a psychologist. These are the services we offer: individual therapy, couple therapy, family therapy, and group therapy. And did I say that you travel together? Yes, we have a package for you right there. So remember to reach out, and it's an exclusive limited group offering where you get to learn and discover each other. There's a lot in that package. Yes, and of course, Women's Day is coming. You want to be the queen, or you want your wife, your girlfriend, your mother to be the queen? There is this program we have that helps them, the women, to show up for themselves and show up for the relationship so that you can continue to be compatible. So thank you so much for paying attention. There is our contact, and I'm happy to take any questions. Grace, over to you.
Thank you, Nancy. I am busy ticking boxes and wondering where am I? And literally, not where am I, where am I?
Yes. Tell me about it.
Well, we shall speak in the chambers of your office. For now, allow us to answer this question.
Yes.
There's somebody saying, why am I not able to meet my partner? That is compatibility. How do I overcome what I learned or environment I was brought in, seeing my siblings in violent marriages? I don't know if that question is clear.
It's not. Repeat it, please.
Yeah, I think, Millicent, if you can reframe your question. This one grew up in or rather the siblings are in violent marriages, and I think they grow up in an abusive home. I'm not too sure. There's somebody saying, there's somebody saying relationships are a mystery. The first 2 years, people find themselves very happy and so much happy in love, but eventually things start dwindling in the years. Okay. This topic is so interesting. Is it possible to have part 2? We shall organize for that. Yes, we meet our partners at our levels of brokenness. So the question is, how do you manage after growing up in an abusive home and you've seen your siblings also attract the same? How do we deal with that?
All right. So I can try and handle those first.
Yes.
I'll start with the first one. The person who talked of violent home, seeing the siblings being in violent environment, and they are desiring to meet their partner needs. Okay, so here I want you to take a love language test. Okay, it's free. It's online. Just Google it. Love language tells you the things you want, but that is how you show up in relationship. So you find people who are gifters desire to be gifted. So they give that love outwards that way. Those who desire quality time spend time trying to be available and asking to be needed because that's what they desire. They were not seen while growing up. So the first step is, first of all, yourself. Do you understand what your experience has been? How that experience has shaped you? How it is influencing how you see the world? It's like wearing rose colored glasses. You will always think the environment is that color that you're seeing the world through. So when you go through therapy, I'll encourage you to take up therapy. When you go through therapy, we help you take off those glasses and start appreciating the real color of nature and being comfortable in nature yourself. Now, once you're there, then you can understand whether you're trying to fix who your dad wasn't for your mother, or who your mother wasn't for your dad, or who you have seen your siblings relate with, and what you thought was hurtful. Remember, I said love is that feeling that we think, the way we are raised, what we feel was met or was not met. So it's sort of a fantasy, infatuation in a sense. I hope that answers you. The second one is talking about the stack going down. So the first 2 years, it is beautiful, right? It is, because you're still exploring each other. Both of you have not put off the mask. And I'll ask you, when you spot a job or an opportunity, you want to get engaged in, what do? You change your cover letter, you change your CV, you do your research. That is what those first 2 years are. Now, when the salary is coming in, you've received a bonus, or you've learned the culture of that environment. Now you've learned the culture of this partner. We can walk without bras. I say, I had, where is the bra? We can walk without the bra in this relationship, And then the guy probably without trousers, and you're seeing the hairy legs. Sorry to use such examples, but yes. So then you start saying, I don't like hairy, those things. Then those challenges start to come up in a relationship. So vulnerability, being able to embrace yourself, being able to communicate, being able to call it when it's not comfortable for you, but call it, like I said, conflict resolution strategies, being able to call it, but strategically, so that the other person can hear and understand you, and at the same time take time and respond to you. So that would be the second question. The third one was almost similar with the first one, talking about violent childhood. So there's, of course, unfinished childhood issues. We call it ACEs. Therapy, therapy, therapy. Don't be shy. And the thing is, with therapy, you don't walk alone. You have a professional, a human being like you, probably, who has experienced something similar and has done the work, or someone with that who can be able to help you disconnect from the emotion wounding to now reasoning cognitively without you being too hard or unrealistic with yourself. I can take more.
All right. There's somebody who. How do I find a financially compatible partner? Please speak more.
Yeah, well, that is an interesting one. That is an
Yes.
interesting one. And what I want to do is go back to the types of compatibility. And right there, if your focus is just one of these aspects, imagine you're going to get it wrong. Okay. So if you're focused just on the, what do you call this, intellectual, so this person knows how to invest, they know how to have conversation, they know how to spot opportunities, you will get it wrong, because they won't be spotting opportunities for you. They will not be investing for you. They'll be investing for themselves. Okay? So the question is, how do you as a person get financially to the point you want to get to, so that if they're talking about their millions, you also have some millions to talk about, If they're talking of their billions, you have some billions to talk about. So growing in that aspect, if they're talking about things they have read or opportunities they know, you're networked as well. Okay. So you can also bring yours to the table. But if you're thinking, if they're financially better and you want this partner, then you don't want a relationship, romantic or whatever. You're looking for a father. You want to be a child. You continue being shielded in that state of, I just need help. I need to be supported. And you won't get out of that. Yeah, that's what I'd say. Let's go to the next one, Grace.
Okay. What should one do if you try at your level? Okay, somebody is asking for you to again display the services you're offering.
Yes.
But as you do that, the other question is what should one do if you try at your level best to make your partner go to therapy, but they refuse?
That's okay. Because as therapists, we look at a situation where if one member of a family, and a family is a unit of one, I mean, more than two people coming together, if one member of that unit is unwell or is sick, then the whole unit is sick. So begin by yourself, okay? Remember those feelings when you're around this person, the thoughts you have about this person, the behavior you have. Let's not project the problem to be with that person, and acknowledge that we as a person, I as a person, Nancy, I'm not comfortable, I'm not happy, and I don't know what to do with this person. So what are they reminding me? What are those triggers or not there and time about my experience as a person? Can I go for therapy? Because if you fix yourself, you elevate. If you come for therapy, you elevate yourself and you're able to pick. You're able to better support this individual because you're both no longer sick. Maybe they remain sick, but you will have healed. But you cannot heal and you have no ground to say, me, I'm okay, I'm functioning. But you don't feel okay, you don't behave okay, you don't think okay. First, come for yourself, then you will have strategies on being able to address them. Or maybe when they see the change in you, they will desire to achieve or to relate or respond to the world similarly the same way you do, because you have more skills. They've not drained you, okay? So they won't want you to be that hexagon. They'll want you to continue being the circle, and they will try to bend and meet your needs. So it starts with you, okay?
All
Back to you,
right.
Grace. Mm-hmm.
Yes. I like this comment. Self-awareness is the backbone of all healthy relationships. We will always attract what we are. Therapy works. Now, before people start leaving, allow me to tell you that we have offers from Pathway Solutions. There are 9 of you because Catherine Sidandi, Catherine, you're getting one, I don't know how many courses from Frank for free. And then the other 9 will have to email Frank. So Frank, I will be sharing the link here on the chat. That's Pathway Solutions. Just one second. Yeah, that's the link to Pathway Solutions courses. Please email Frank and select 2 courses, and the 9 of you, first come, first served, will get training for free from Frank. Nancy, I like what somebody has said. This is applicable not only to the home environment, but also to the workplaces. And I agree. I mean, compatibility even in the workplace is real. Yeah, so Nancy, there's something else I wanted to ask. There's a friend of mine who was saying that people should just have 2-year contracts on relationships. What's your opinion? I mean, you've just said that is the honeymoon phase. So,
Yes.
and the exploration phase.
Yes.
So what's your opinion on that? And also maybe to tie it to that, what about relationships that are like you find you're very compatible, that you have dated for 3 months and you feel like you have known each other forever?
Mm.
How about those ones? And yeah.
Okay. So, the first question about the length of the relationship is also determined by the purpose of the relationship. Okay. What needs or wants did you have, did you get both of you have in the beginning? Because if you just want the good, the flow, that's sort of a high. It's an addiction. And your conflict management or skills are going to be lacking because you're too cautious and self-preserving, okay, that you're unable to take the risk, that you're unable to want to see what's on the other side, okay? And so it's not going to be lasting. And at the end of the day, are you comfortable to say, 50 years old, I have had 15 partners. I've been in relationship for 2 years, for 15 years. And I did it, you know? What will you show for it in terms of feeling, in terms of growth? Okay, and in terms of behavior, because the more the partners you're bringing in and you're not grounded, the more they make you chip up parts of yourself until you're not, you cannot even tell what's your identity in a sense. Okay, so what's the goal, what's the need? And
So
then
2 years. So technically, 2 years is the, as in, those contractual things that people are doing nowadays should just be, they're not healthy. That's what you're saying.
they're not healthy in the long run because even in terms of research, scientifically, the biggest cause of death other than depression is loneliness. As a human race, we fear being alone. Put someone alone, and that's why imprisonment works. If you confine someone alone in a space, oh my God, they will lose it. COVID taught us. Okay. So you want some sort of stability. So if you think about it in terms of investment and you have been with someone for like 15, 20 years, that's consistent. It's helped you grow. You can tell. But if we use the same example, you're investing, you remove, you put somewhere else, you remove, even the charges of that investment will take away your initial capital. Okay. So that's where I would be. So if you're that person and you're not able to go beyond 1 year, beyond 2 years, there's something that you need to work on or you need to explore. Let me bring it home maybe with employment as an example. If you are an employee or if you're as a HR, when you have an employee who leaves jobs after every 2 years, you'll ask yourself, you know, so are we going to invest in our vision and mission and all those things with this person and all these resources and trainings? You understand? So if you find that employee who leaves every 2 years, then most people decide, let me start my own business so that I can control my environments. Okay. So you would even rather be without a relationship and happy than with, but then you're worried of when the next shoe is going to drop. Then what was the second one? About 3 months?
Yeah, like you have dated for not for like the 2 years, but you feel like you have known this person for all your life.
Sasa hiyo ni purple flag imetoka hata maroon. Eh? It's not even purple, it's brown. It's brown. Yes, you have to have a liking for someone. You have to have an attraction. But contain yourself because when you feel like you've known each other for so long and you let it slide without taking time, without allowing natural flow, you are jumping to serve a need or a role, or you want them to serve a need or a role, and you will end up investing, okay, like showing your best without the person having earned it. Okay. The best performers or someone becomes excellent at something because of practicing and making gradual improvement. So if you give it all at once, what more is there to look out for? I mean, I want someone else. I want another experience. I want the high. So you have to also know how gradually, what kind of jokes are we laughing about? How are we getting to know each other? What kind of places? We might have a similar upbringing, background, or interest. Food, we've talked about them. Have we experienced them together? Okay, that helps you now to build up on time. Okay,
Yeah,
back to you,
yeah.
Grace. Mhm.
Yes, and I've seen there's a question you'd want to answer. I have a coined phrase. If you're a witch, you marry a wizard. What is your take on this, Nancy? You can combine that with this question where my husband is hostile and an introvert. He thrives in quarrels. How do I deal with that?
Right. Personality differences. Now that one is deeper. Okay, before I go to the witch and the wizard. So personality differences here. Because when you say someone thrives in quarrels and all that, it means they are displacing some discomfort they have. Okay. Introverts still are capable of having healthy relationships. Okay. So if they are not communicating and you've not learned what their needs are, look for avenues of getting to them, write to them on the phone, write a note, okay? Set up a dinner at home, okay? Just, there has to be communication, there has to be a sense of gelling for people to get together, to be able to flow. When you continue to take in the quarrels, that's a form of abuse. So you're a victim as we speak, okay? And you continuously put yourself in that state, or maybe you're in a state of helplessness or stuckness. And I talked of that in the stages. Was it here? No, it was on this next one. I talked of stagnation. Maybe you're at that point where you're contemplating the things, the amount, or what your loss is going to be. But your peace of mind, congruence, inability to think, behave, and feel, and all of them having a flow is more important than a title, than resources. Okay? So you need to first secure yourself. That is abuse. You're in an abusive relationship. And, I have to say it as it is. So reach out for support. Okay? For empowerment, for encouragement, for skilling on how you can deal with this. Someone says if you're a witch, marry a wizard. Yes, in a sense. Similarities, there has to be a sense of we can talk about our childhood, the 80s babies, 70s babies, 60 babies, 90 babies. What was so important or significant around that age that you can talk about. And this is where now, when I talked of the types of compatibility. That is where that phrase comes in. Do you like the same recreational activities? Do you share the same intellectual? Or do you have the same emotional interpretation? Do you have similar sex drives or interests? Do you have similar spiritual? That's where the phrase flows in. So you have to ask yourself, how many of these, what of these three items am I able to have from my current relationship? What requires some work and can be done, because I said incompatibility is fixable. It's fixable when you've done the work and you've known where the challenge is. And even when the relationship terminates, when people decide to end it, it still remains a relationship. Okay? We want it to continue being a relationship without a front title, toxic relationship, healthy relationship. We want it to be a relationship. So you do the work for yourself so that you can experience life differently and better. Back to you, Grace.
Right. And probably before we go to your parting shot, the other thing I wanted to ask is, so say for example, you are compatible, or rather, you are incompatible and are not willing to work at it. Where does that leave you? End it. Oh, that is the avoiding stage. Okay. Or is
No,
it the stagnating and avoiding stage? You don't want to deal
Um,
with it.
if you don't want to deal with it, how is it impacting you? Is it making you stunted? Like stepping out of that, is it going to give you room to grow and breathe? Remember your feelings? Or is it going to make you feel stunted? Those are areas you need to explore. Empowerment is important, or knowledge or skilling is important, because then you make better choices. You negotiate better for yourself. You show up better for yourself. So deciding to leave the relationship is not a loss in any sense. It probably can be the biggest win of your life, or working on the things that you struggle with can also be the biggest win of your life, because then you can use that experience of incompatibility or dissatisfaction as a reference in growth. So the choice is yours.
Right, right,
Mhm.
right, right, right. Okay, so what were new relationships? Chill, relax, it will unfold. But now the other question I wanted to ask, I mean, like, how much time, so as a
Yes.
couple, how much time are you to spend together? Whether, so for example, if you're new,
Mm.
how much time, if you're trying to mend fences, how much time, and if you just in your normal things are just two go to, you know, like what investment is there in terms of time?
Remember the love language, how you show
Yes.
up for yourself. That is what determines, because people like me, quality time, you know, time has to be invested a lot. But there's somebody who, it's the acts of service, it's the gift, okay? So your love language will tell you, and you can also understand your partner better. It will tell you, do we need to see each other every day, every week, once a month? It works differently for every individual, okay? But in order to crystallize or make a decision about a relationship, at least allow yourself to grow through it. Go past 18 months, okay? Go past 18 months. You can say, yes, I'm dating. Let me be controversial a bit. When you're dating, don't tie yourself on the leg and date one person. Remember, you're checking suitability. I said it. I won't repeat. So,
If I catch him, he is dead.
no, you're being unrealistic, because he's also exploring the suitability, like who among the people I'm seeing. You're not existing in isolation. But when you tie or make that agreement, then you're seeing each other exclusively. When you're dating, you're not sexual. Oh, but I know there are people who that is a need. Now you decide. It's on you. The ball is yours. Okay? So decide. I mean, look at it, but grow, allow yourself time. Allow yourself to go past at least 18 months. That way, you'll have seen the different phases that you show up in this relationship, and the person shows up, the level of interest and consistency, and so on and so forth. Yeah.
All right. And then there's this one here. Hey, yeah. How do you deal with the situation where you always want to give positive response so that the other person doesn't feel rejected?
Hmm. Did controversy kidogo? Did they tell you that you have to affirm them? you know like, let's do some internal work, and I'm sorry to respond that way. Let's do some internal work. It is you as a person who needs affirmation, words of affirmation. It is a love language. Okay, so those words of affirmation, I said, show up for yourself, be able to talk about your achievement, great and small. Place them on the table so that the person knows it's important for you. Okay, then they start learning. But if you're always pointing out and saying this, I want to do this for them, then you don't need to mold them. They need to come whole. You're molding them to that person, thing, or situation that you want for yourself to feel safe. So it's start with yourself first.
Okay. All right. And can a relationship work with your ex after 8 months of breakup?
Back to incompatibility, fixability, yes. However,
Okay.
you have to know your deal breakers. Okay. What led to the breakup? During that period, what growth have you experienced? What changes have you gone through? What changes have they gone through as a person? Okay. Because there are people who
Yeah.
the relationship dies and then well they get pregnant or the person impregnates another one before you did not have a child into the another mix, and now you're thinking let me get back with this person and we work through the mix. What are your deal breakers? Know your values, know your needs, know know what you want for yourself, because you need to be whole as a person first. Okay. The same, I'd answer it the same way the person asked about investment. Like, feel safe first with what you're capable of achieving and comfortable with that. So that if I show up with more, I'm happy. If I show up with the same, we can go. If I show up with less, maybe I'm not going to take that because I've worked hard. I've taken time. I'll allow you to grow, you know? And that is in the aspect of now breakup. Okay. What potential does this person have as well in terms of growing? Do you see them supporting you into you becoming who you want to be? Or do you see, or are they going to take away from you? So those are questions to ask yourself. And I know a lot of people who've had children in marriages, and then the separation happens. They sort of will keep bouncing back and forth, thinking, "Let me do this for the children." Was it healthy for you? Were you healthy in that relationship? How better is it going to be? Has communication improved? Okay. Have we talked about the things that you cannot take? Yeah. Yeah. So it's fixable, but we have to put some things on the table. Okay. And if you're 30 and above, you cannot take chance. If you're taking chances, my friend, you have not skilled well. You need to skill, not trials X.
Hey, I
Yeah.
think the last question now as we take your parting shot. Which stage of a relationship is it where the ex still gets mad when you interact with other people?
Gosh. Hey, interesting. That is real life. Eh? Thank you.
Mm,
Yeah. So the person is stuck in their head. They are still in a relationship with you, even if they have theirs separately, or they feel that they own you. Okay. And you as a person have not differentiated enough not to be bothered, because healing is saying, well, we can exist in the same place, but my thinking, my emotions, my behavior is not going to be affected. So you've not been able to heal. Okay. So they are where they are, but you're my interest because you're the one listening to me. Make sense? I hope I've answered you.
yes, you have. There's somebody on my inbox who is saying, at when dating, we are not supposed to have sex. Hey.
All right. I'll give it to you. Maybe you're checking sexual compatibility. It's how about you? It's on your in your court. It's in your court. Also based on your beliefs and your value system, so which we cannot judge and we have to accommodate. So yes, I hope
Wow,
and I'm
wow.
yeah, that marks it. So
Yes.
I'm hoping people come for this retreat, people book sessions, come for the unveiling the queen. Look out on our social media pages. We will be putting out communication, and that you're able to reach out. And in addition to that, as part of self-growth, I'm offering masterclass as Wellness with Nancy. You can check me up on social media. And then we have Hisia offering you these services. So feel free. If you want a masterclass in love and love-related matters, I'm available to offer you those services. And those are the contacts to reach us on. I'm so appreciating each and every person. And I believe if there are further questions, Grace, you're going to send them my way. Yep.
All right. Thank you so much, Nancy. This is, I think, the longest session we've had since we started. We have been trying to be very strict on time and finish at about 9:05. But
oh my goodness.
In my defense, it is Valentine's, it's the love period, and sometimes love has no logic. So
yes.
we can get away with that. Right. So thank you
for
so
your
much.
Patience. Yeah.
No, of course, of course, of course. I mean, thank you. It's always a pleasure to have you on our forum, and we look forward to the next session with you. And of course, I'm hoping that we shall still engage and get to learn more from you, especially from a psychologist point. Please, guys, reach out to Nancy. She's wonderful, a wonderful, wonderful therapist, and she also is our partner when you're doing mental health sessions in institutions. So she's able to do that as well. She's a wonderful, wonderful speaker on matters mental health, and you can attest to that from today. So thank you so much. Patricia Hall, it's nice to see you, my friend from Kampala. It's really amazing to see you tonight. Always a pleasure to see you. And Brian, it's always again at part 2 loading. You, Brian, can you take Nani for Nini tomorrow? We shall speak on the phone. But I wish you guys a wonderful, wonderful Valentine's Day. And please take advantage of Frank's offers. That is Pathway Solutions. 9 people. Please, I've shared the email. I've shared the link. Go to the website. Choose the lessons you want to learn, and you'll get a certificate at the end of it all. It is on the LMS, so don't expect somebody to come and teach you. You'll have to take the lessons, and the lessons have to be finalized within 30 days. But take advantage. I mean, how often do you get free sessions like those? And for us, please join us on Thursday for the termination on medical grounds webinar. Also, please gear up and look for your beautiful, beautiful dress and beautiful suit, or rather, okay, no, it's going to be a Saturday. So no suits or official wear. But we have that celebrating IWD. And I am so excited about those topics because we'll have a man speaker who's going to speak to us about managing the empowered woman. And also now the wonderful panel discussion by great, great ladies who are just going to be sharing about the labor of love and leadership. So do not miss out on any of those. And please join us on Facebook at Atara Solutions. I don't know why Zoom and Facebook are not matching this time around, but we've written to Zoom about also the M-Pesa requests. So we are hoping that we'll get clarity soon. But please follow us on Instagram at Atara Solutions, like our Facebook page at Atara Solutions, follow or rather subscribe to our YouTube channel, Get It Right with Atara Solutions, and see you next Tuesday as we look at what are we discussing? NSSF and SHIF. That is for most Kenyans and those HRs in the diaspora who are also dealing with Kenya. We want to understand how an HIF is switching to SHIF, and also what to do with NSSF because the needs are changing. So thank you very much, and you guys have a lovely, lovely Tuesday. Have a good night and happy Valentine's. See you next Tuesday, same time, same place, as we look at NSSF and SHIF. Good night.